Hey folks, your friendly neighborhood Evan Fleischer here with one of his cats playing in a shoebox and staring dead-eyed and unblinking at him. And I want to talk to you today about how not to write science fiction. I have taught creative writing classes for a few years, and to introduce my students, as well as an English comp class as well, and to introduce my students to the idea of close reading, I have found a book that is both fun and illustrative of the concept of what not to do, and it's called Denver is Missing. And I figured I could read maybe a paragraph or two with you guys, and just to give you an idea of what it's like. Oh no, he's going to pause for a second and then he's going to edit it to make it look like not that much time has passed. I think the book is helpful and useful and generative in the same way that riff tracks riffing on a film like Samurai Cop is useful for aspiring filmmakers. And let's just go through, I don't know, a paragraph or two now, just so you can get an idea. Okay? Denver is missing. A slight bump. No more than that. I took no notice. Fresh off watch, I was more interested in a glass of milk and getting sacked up. I heard muffled shouting and the thump of hurrying feet on the deck above. So what? Not my problem. I got my milk. So let's pause there for a second. What do we know about this story so far? Is our narrator a man or a woman? We have the clause fresh off watch. Okay, fresh off watch where? In the mountains? In space? In a forest that's raining jello? Underwater? I heard muffled shouting and the thump of hurrying feet on the deck above. Okay. Does this mean that this is an active crisis? If so, what crisis is it? And why is it that the only thing that we know about this narrator, the only point of detail we have, is the fact that the narrator is interested in milk? So much so that we have it twice in a relatively short opening paragraph as well. Let's keep going. Someone clattered noisily down the steel ladder. A red, excited face was thrust in the doorway of the brightly lit mess hall. Hey, the goddamn drill's busted. All right. Who is that someone? The narrator could know. Why doesn't the narrator know? Too much milk? Again, someone. Is it a man or a woman? A red, excited face was thrust in the doorway of the brightly lit mess hall. Okay. What is this mess hall? Where is the narrator in relation to the rest of the mess hall? Where is the narrator in relation to that face? Because there's a difference between, like, if you're right up against the doorway and then all of a sudden this face comes right in, right next to you and goes, hey, the goddamn drill's busted. You will recoil. It will be loud. If you're on the other side of the cafeteria, you might be like, what? While you are surrounded by, 385 gallons of milk that you just sort of paw with your bare hands or whatever. To continue. The face disappeared, eager to be the first with the bad news elsewhere. I jumped up, cursing as I spilt the milk. Milk again. As senior watchkeeping geologist, I could not rely on scuttlebutt. This could indeed be my problem. Okay, so we know that this person is a watchkeeping geologist. I'm not quite sure what watchkeeping geologist means. Is this someone who watches rocks professionally? Also, note the word choice of scuttlebutt. Does it feel like it sits within the rest of the nature of the narrator's language well? Like, let's look to the opening paragraph again. So what? Not my problem. I got milk. That's a relatively like, hey Joe, how's it going? Hey, good to see you. And then all of a sudden, this person's gonna be like, hey Joe, did you hear the scuttlebutt? A broken drill 4,000 feet down in the Pacific and another 2,000 feet into the rocky bottom was serious, especially as this was the last and biggest drill of the entire expedition. Okay, so the problem is that there is a broken drill in the Pacific. All right. Back in the IGY, someone dreamed up Project Mohole, which was quite a dream. Imagine an apple shaped like an orange. The skin represents the Earth's crust, that part on which all life as we know it exists. On this scale, the skin is still far too thick to be an accurate model of the crust, but it will do. I'm just going to pause right there because, again, like four or five incorrect things are happening in rapid succession. Why do we need an apple shaped like an orange? And why is it that this metaphor is still an insufficient metaphor? On this scale, the skin is still far too thick to be an accurate model of the crust. It's your metaphor, my guy. You can pick a different metaphor. Also, what is IGY? Why is it worthy of an asterisk? And why begin the paragraph with this sentence that tells us so little it is a borderline tautology? Back in the IGY, someone dreamed up something, which was quite a dream. Great. A dream is a dream. Congratulations to all involved. And what do we know so far? We know that it's a genderless person who likes milk, who is a senior watch-keeping geologist. Now, some of you may be thinking like, hey, Evan, you're going a little too hard. You're being a little too intense here. I'm not really. In fact, this is actually me taking it kind of easy. And also, words tell us things. Yeah, words tell us things, just as images tell us things. I mean, it's okay to, you can simultaneously let a work of art speak for itself while letting your literacy work at the same time. And I could keep going, but I just wanted to give you a slight idea of how close reading illustrates what not to do in constructing a piece of science fiction, because this is a science fiction novel. Who is... It's reduced me to wordlessness. I've been doing this for years. Hope you're all well.